just gonna do like what do we call it? A hot mic? No. What's it called? Like mic'd up with Keagan Gillies. He's with the Orioles. He's not mic'd up. I'm mic'd up. We got Stephen Lacey. He's in indie ball in the American Association with Chicago Dogs. And then I'm the dude from Peaky Blinders. I'm just kidding. New haircut here. We got JC, Josh over here. He is making his way back into college ball, right? Maybe. College ball, indie ball, he's trying to figure it out. But Keegan's, how far are you from season right now?
Stay back for a couple more.
How far are you from getting to spring training?
3 weeks.
And that's pitchers and catchers, right?
Early camp, yeah. Well,
Right.
it can be everyone.
So what are you expecting? I'm gonna try to hold the mic towards you. Keep going. What are you expecting when you get to camp? Like, what are some of the things that are gonna put you through when you first get to camp?
I think our first week is, I get there, I have a physicals on Sunday. Monday I have a pin. Then Wednesday I have live, and then the first game start on that Saturday.
So what do you want to show in that first pen to the team? You had a good off season?
Yeah, no, it's more of coming in, showcasing, what I've built this off season. Not so much in the pen. The pen's more of like, getting my reps in before I have to throw the live. The live is really when you come out and you're like, this is what I've built throughout the off season. And then getting into game time, you showcase that obviously a little bit more.
And some of his improvements this year are big on weight gain. Could we say 240 to 270, 275 maybe?
No, I probably came in at 250, 255 last
way off.
season. And then built it up to 275 this year.
All right, so he's definitely gotten bigger. A lot more strengths come in. Upper body strength's really gone up. I would say that's been his big improvements this offseason. Velo seems to be up a little bit, which is good for him. He can use it. And what about any difference on your pitches that you're excited about?
Yeah, I mean, the splitter last year was a little work in progress. But for the most part, I've kind of perfected the grip. So that's been, it's going to be a big utility for me this year, whether it's swing and miss or early in the count looking for, heavy swinging guys. But yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing for me. And then obviously the uptick in velo from, the training I've done upper body wise and lower body wise this year is going to help a lot.
Yeah, you can see his upper body has gotten a lot bigger. Like chest has gotten bigger, lats have gotten bigger. He feels it too when he throws. Ball comes out a lot. What would you say? What feels better now that you've gotten your upper body bigger when you throw? Do you feel a difference from last year?
Probably like as soon as I feel my trunk going forward, it just feels a lot more stable, a lot more strong. Like I'm pushing more power through my trunk rather than relying on my legs, which obviously you need to rely on your legs a lot, but the upper body is, going to hold more of the load, so I'm not going to get injured throughout the year or, do my best to not get injured. That's going to give me my best chance not to be. And then obviously, like I said, the trunk coming through at the end really gives you that transfer of power from the lower to the upper half is now going to be able to transfer the load better to my arm.
Right, and it's pretty obvious. Really good spin. He's always had good spin. Fastball spins like 21, 24.
It's like 22, 24.
22, 24.
It's more of not as much spin as it is movement on the spin. So my vert is 20 plus pretty much every time, getting up to like 24, 25. So
which is pretty elite, right?
That's 18 plus is good, 20 plus is elite. So yeah.
So he's talking about the vertical break. So basically, when you throw your fastball, it's how much the velocity and the spin is keeping that perception of a rising fastball. So it's coming out really well. The cutter, how's the cutter been? Like, is it better this year or the same or what?
I kind of lost a little bit of the feel to start, but that's just kind of what happens when you come from off-season to end-season, just getting back off the mound. It's had a little bit more vert than I usually would like, but last pin, you were there for it. It got a lot better. I was getting like 10 vert with like 6 horizontal, which is, probably where I want to be at like 88, 89. So I just need to cut that vert just a little bit more, get it to like in that 7 to 10 range instead of like the 10 to 12 range. So
yeah, so think about that. Basically what he's telling you is that if his fastball is a 22 vert, he's shaving off in the cutter a little more than 10. He's getting to 10 vert, so that's 12 coming down. So basically the ball's coming down a little more. And then he's getting, oh, look who shows up. Pierce is here. We haven't seen this guy in a little while. All right, so he's shaving off horizontal. What's your horizontal normally on your fastball, like 5 or 6?
Like 5, anywhere from 5 to 8.
Positive, right?
Positive.
And then the cutter's going negative, -5?
Yeah, -5,
All right.
-7.
So he's creating a horizontal break of over 10 inches.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like people are going to say that's not really a cutter, and it's really not. I call it a cutter because that's what I want it to seem like. I want to throw it harder in that 88 to 90 range with that kind of horizontal where it's not, true cutter at like 15 and -1. It's more like, okay, I'm at 10 and 7, and I can usually use that in any count, any situation that I need to. And that really just plays off my fastball.
But it's not a slider because it's pretty hard, right? I mean, it's probably a little bit harder than a slider.
Yeah, it is.
What's
And
the velo?
Less movement. Like a slider these days, or a sweeper is what a lot of people are using now. It's more like 81, 83 with like 15 plus horizontal, where I'm throwing it at, 5 to 6 horizontal at 88 to 90.
Right. So, I mean, I guess you could kind of say slider. Somewhere, slider.
Whatever you want to call it.
Right. Well, cool. So, yeah, we're pretty excited. You guys watch him this year. He's AA with the Orioles. He's going to be, I'm not sure exactly where he'll be at camp. That was your splitty? That was nice, dude. So, yeah, so pretty awesome. I mean, like what I think Keagan does well is he stays really consistent in his work. Doesn't miss a lot of weight training days, right? He used to. He's way better at that. I mean, people probably watching this wondering how big he is. He's 6'8", right? He's 6'8", 270, up to 275.
Very good.
He very much loves, he's very good at analytically understanding his pitches. And he's also very good at how he uses that. I mean, would you feel like you're good at how you strategize with the hitter and you attack a hitter?
You have to be, especially at this level now. From a reliever standpoint, it's a little harder to go through everybody in the lineup and know, what you want to do to each guy, which you can kind of tell that from swings that they've taken off of you in the past, or just looking at other guys, how they attack them. But we usually sit there and go through, the top 3 to 5 guys in the lineup that we need to look out for with, matchups wise. So then I just go based off of what their hot and cold zones are, and what's getting them out on 0-2, 1-2, ahead of the count and behind the count, what I need to do. So usually I have that in the back of my head when I step on the mound, like I need to attack this guy more splitter, I need to attack this guy with fastballs up more because he's got a slow bat, whatever it might be. So that's all coming pregame work.
Yeah, and I mean, that gets so important as you go up levels of the game. I mean, unfortunately I don't see a lot of guys doing this kind of work in college ball. Wouldn't you say you don't see a lot of guys doing this heavy analytical work, really? I mean, it's starting to get more popular.
Yeah, it's more popular now, especially, not really reading hitters. That's still a work in progress for a lot of these college guys. They just don't know what they're doing in that term. But analytics-wise, it's infiltrated college baseball a lot. I mean, you look at Wake Forest and what they're doing analytically, it's one of the best in the country, and that's why they're doing so well.
What would you say the best strategy is, and when you're trying to develop your velocity, your mechanics, your training, and then you get into pitch development?
I mean, I did it kind of backwards. I was always good at my pitchability, but I didn't have the velo that I wanted. So once I got here, I kind of sustained that pitchability. I knew what I needed to do to get hitters out, and then the velo just added, tenfold to that.
But did you find when you were working on all the velo work, did it change your pitches?
Yeah. So my cutter, slider, it used to be a slider, now it's a cutter. It got, so much better in terms of movement and then velocity with that.
And then you got rid of your curveball.
And then I got rid of my curveball because I was throwing a little bit slower back then, and I was just popping it in there, and that's not going to work anymore. So now that I'm throwing harder, I need harder pitches, so that's why I developed a splitter, and that kind of takes away the need for a curveball. That's mostly I'm using against lefties, but now that I got the splitter, I can use it to both lefties and righty. It can be effective for both. So.
All right, cool, man. Well, pretty excited for this year's season. Y'all got to keep an eye on him and see how he does. He'll be in the big leagues this year. I'm betting on it.
Me too.